This chapter of my life isn't exactly a pleasant one. After all, how could it be when it involves the unraveling of a family and what seemed like a betrayal from someone I once loved? But to me, it remains just a chapter because I'm an optimist and I believe in the promise of a better future ahead. Laika and I crossed paths at a time when I was something of a local celebrity. I played for the team of our provincial city, which was loved by both my teammates and the fans. After all, at the age of 24, I was still considered young, especially for a central defender, and yet I had already secured a place at the base. Laika, as she was called, was an avid fan of the team, and she could often be seen in the fan section at every home match. It was she who took the initiative and got to know me. I had just finished the match and was heading out from under the stands when I heard her voice. "Jacob, I've been wanting to take a picture with you for a long time." She took out her phone and her friend took a picture. After that, compliments poured in. "You're such an amazing player. You're definitely going to succeed soon." "Jacob, why are you so quiet? How about we invite the girls over for ice cream?" I really had nowhere to go, so of course I accepted the offer. Her friend later politely declined, but Laika was determined. Later, she admitted that it was all part of the plan. But she was charming and friendly, and before long, she had completely captured my attention. 3 months later, the season came to a close, and we were married. My contract wasn't as lucrative as those of players in the major leagues, but it was enough to provide for a family without worrying about making ends meet. As the new season kicked off, everyone was expecting a breakthrough in my performance, but it never came. In fact, I made a series of critical mistakes that led to goals being scored against us. It was only natural for me to be benched, but the coach stood by me. "Jacob, what's going on? It seems like all your energy is going into your wife instead of your game. Get it together. Let's take a week to focus, clear your head." I agreed, and that week of reflection made a difference. The next match, I was back in the starting lineup and played a stellar game. That was 15 years ago. I retired from playing at the age of 25 due to an injury and the realization that I wasn't going to find that big challenge I had been hoping for. Instead, I switched gears and became a children's coach. Over the years, our family grew to include 4 people with the birth of 2 daughters. Laika never once blamed me for anything, but my mother-in-law. Well, she never missed an opportunity to stoke the flames. "Oh, my daughter, what a talent you have. He can't even drive a nail into a wall. He's only interested in a soccer ball. His salary is barely enough for Iris to live on. What are you staring at, you idiot? We need workers at the factory, but even an idiot can hook a dummy with a rope. Of course our salary is small, but it's still almost twice as much as you earn now." I've always preferred to lead a group of ambitious young guys who were determined to succeed. I am convinced that the day will come soon when they will make a name for themselves in adult professional football. One of them is on his way to becoming a star. Theo comes from a wealthy family. His father runs a reputable company. Most of the time, his father Dylan helps the team with the purchase of equipment. After his ex-wife's death, he raised Theo alone. Theo has always treated me with great respect, and I made sure to spend a little more time with him than the other guys. And as the important match against our main rivals was fast approaching, I remembered how much life at the base had brought me in my time. So when Dylan suggested we stay in their spacious country house, I didn't hesitate. There was even a small soccer field in the backyard. Nothing could distract the guys from the upcoming decisive game. The day before the match, Theo came up to me and asked if he could go home. He had just realized that he had forgotten his uniform. "Let's call my dad. He'll bring it," he said. He tried to call, but only voicemail turned on. "There's no time to waste. Without a uniform, you won't be able to participate in the match. Besides, there's a break between training and tactical exercises, just in time. And you have money for a taxi. Everything will be fine." I gave him the go-ahead, and sure enough, about an hour and a half later, Theo returned to base. But when I saw his face, I realized that something was wrong. When I was thinking about the game plan, I noticed that he wasn't paying attention. He had something on his mind, and I decided to talk to him after practice. "Theo, what's going on?" "I'm at a crossroads," he said. "I have two options. I can pretend that everything is fine and betray my father's trust. Or my conscience tells me that I have to confess everything. I do not know what to do." Theo told me that when he opened the door to the apartment, he couldn't believe his eyes. His father and Laika were hurriedly getting dressed. They begged him not to tell anyone about what he had seen. But Theo, devoted and grateful to his coach, couldn't bring himself to remain silent. I tried to calm him down by asking him to put these thoughts aside. But despite all our efforts, we lost the match. At home, I packed my things and moved in with my parents. I filed for divorce, and soon after, my wife spoke in my mother-in-law's words. "Oh, what kind of husband are you? You can't even earn enough to feed yourself, let alone provide for the kids. And I've been with Dylan for a long time. He helps us. You don't see it, but where do you think the money for the laptop for the girls and their new clothes comes from?" I responded. He told me, face to face, that everything between him and Laika was finished. But at that moment, I didn't care anymore. "Dylan, I'm done with this team. We haven't achieved our goal, so I'm leaving. The head of one of the football academies has been calling me for a long time, and now I have made a decision. I didn't want to leave, but I'm sure there will be a great replacement for me. As for you, you can continue to settle things with your wife." Dylan kept his promise and broke up with Laika. She was left with her children and her mother, but without men. The following season, the guys won the tournament, and Theo joined my academy, where he excelled in the junior league.